This problem reads that the concession stand sold a total of 86 hot dogs and hamburgers during the football game. The number of hamburgers sold was 7 less than twice the number of hot dogs sold. How many of each were sold? So as I read this problem, I know the first thing I'm going to do in an application problem is define a variable. And I look at what they're asking. They're asking for how many of each were sold. There's 2 items, hamburgers and hot dogs. So I know I'm going to let x equal one of those. And I look at the relationship and see which I know the least about. And it says the number of hamburgers sold was 7 less than twice the number of hot dogs sold. So I know the least amount about the number of hot dogs sold. So that's what I will let x equal, the number of hot dogs sold. Now the other thing I'm looking for is the number of hamburgers sold, and I know the number of hamburgers sold was 7 less than twice the number of hot dogs. So if the number of hot dogs is x, twice that would be 2 times x. 7 less than that would be subtracting 7. And that's going to be the number of hamburgers sold. So now I have defined my variable and expressed my other unknown in terms of that same variable. I'm ready to come up with an equation. So I know that if I added together the number of hot dogs plus the number of hamburgers, altogether I would have 86. So for hot dogs, I'm using the variable x, and for hamburgers, I'm using 2x minus 7. So I just put those into my word equation and come up with an equation in one variable that I can solve. Hot dogs plus hamburgers equals 86. So now I can solve this by combining like terms. And I have 3x minus 7 equals 86. I'm trying to isolate the x term, so I'll add 7 to both sides. And that gives me 93. And then to eliminate this coefficient, I'd have to divide both sides by 3. When I divide that out, I would get 31. So I have x equals 31. I go back to where I defined that variable x, and that is the number of hot dogs sold. So I know that hot dogs sold was 31. I guess I'd say number of. And then I also need to know the number of hamburgers sold. And that was, let's see, hamburgers is 2x minus 7. X is 31, so if I have 2x minus 7, and I put in 31 for x, I have 62 minus 7, or 55. So the number of hamburgers sold was 55. So there is my solution. I'm going to box it. And if I wanted to check that, I would take those two values, 31 and 55, and add them together and make sure I do get the 86 total.